California, the land of opportunity where you can find fame and fortune, or the land of despair. Part of what can make or break a person is the place that they call home. Living in one of the 6 communities in this list makes it less likely that a person will get ahead in life. So let's check out my 6 worst places in California so you'll know which to avoid if you decide to move to or visit the Golden State. Number 6, Oakland. Do you like the idea of getting shot and paying too much for housing? If so, then Oakland is the place for you. The violent crime rate in Oakland is 233% higher than the national average. In the US, the murder rate is 6.5 homicides for every 100,000 people. In Oakland, it's 23.3 per 100,000 people. According to the last FBI crime report, which takes a look at the occurrences in 2020, there were 102 murders. Altogether, they had 5,653 violent crimes and 22,622 property crimes. The chance of becoming a victim is 1 in 16. If worrying about your safety isn't reason enough to avoid the city, maybe the cost of living would deter you. The overall cost of living in Oakland is 56% higher than the national average, so everything is more expensive than you would find in many places, but the housing costs are especially expensive, at 127% above the national average. The cheapest house on the market at the moment is listed for $319,500, and it doesn't even have windows. That kind of money can get you a mansion in some parts of the Midwest, or at least a home with both doors and windows, and you wouldn't have to deal with as many people trying to hurt you. Number 5, Humboldt County. If you don't like the idea of starring in your very own kidnapping movie, avoid Humboldt County. There's one main reason to avoid this area, and that is that people just vanish there. This county, along with Mendocino and Trinity counties, makes up a region known locally as the Emerald Triangle. It was given that nickname for being the largest cannabis-producing region in the US. However, it's also fitting that it's similar to the Bermuda Triangle, where people are said to also disappear. The entire region is known for having people just go missing, but Humboldt County's stats are the worst, which is why I recommend just staying away from the whole area. On average, the state of California has 384 missing persons cases per 100,000 people, but Humboldt County has 717 per 100,000 people just go missing. That has caused the county to earn the nickname the Black Hole. Some residents around this area think that there may be a serial killer living amongst them. Law enforcement agencies in the county said that they had 13 known homicides and at least 2 suspicious deaths in 2021, but there are still quite a few people who never turned up. It's assumed by locals that most of the disappearances are related to the cannabis industry. There are several documentaries that discuss the high rate of disappearances in the Emerald Triangle, including Sasquatch on Hulu and Murder Mountain on Netflix. Number 4, Clear Lake. The city of Clear Lake only has a population of 16,777, so if you live outside of California, you probably haven't heard of it. But within the state, it's known as being a pretty bad place to live, at least if you want to get ahead in life. They call the area surrounding the city California's impoverished Riviera. Once upon a time, this was a tourist destination at the nearby Clear Lake, but the water quality has deteriorated, and people have stopped going there. Without the tourism dollars coming in, almost a third of the residents live below the poverty line. That's because the median household income is half that of the California median, at only $36,339. There just aren't that many decent jobs around there. The largest industry in Clear Lake is healthcare, but most of those positions are home health aide jobs, which don't pay the greatest. The second largest industry is retail, so also low-wage work. Clear Lake also has quite a bit of crime, a lot of which is due to a drug problem in the area. The chance of becoming a victim is 1 in 30, and it's safer than only 8% of US cities. On the upside, though, if you want to live in California, but you can't afford any of the nice cities in the state, and you don't need to find a job, you can get cheap housing in Clear Lake. Housing costs are 43% below the national average. In a state known for multi-million-dollar homes, you can find homes under $300,000 in Clear Lake. Number 3, Modesto. Crime rates in Modesto are 24% higher than the California average, with violent crimes being 91% above the national average. Modesto is known for having one of the highest car theft rates in the country. They reported 1,603 violent crimes, including 16 murders, and 5,340 property crimes. That's with a population of 218,264. Aside from the crime problem, the residents of Modesto point to a growing homelessness problem in the city and surrounding valley communities for why they don't like this area. Estimates place the number of unsheltered people between 2,000 and 3,000. Another reason cited when residents are asked as to why Modesto is so awful is that the cost of living is too high for what they get by living there. They say the city is boring and doesn't have much to offer, but the cost of living is 5% higher than the national average. Number 2, Stockton. Usually, a city will have some pros to balance the cons, but Stockton is one of those places where it's hard to find anything good to say about it. Some might argue that having a real estate market that's more affordable than the California average would be a plus, but when you look at the homes on the market, they're not that great. $200,000 for an uninhabitable structure that looks like it might just be 3 trailers wedged together, $239,000 for a home with an overgrown yard, and various other rundown properties. The housing market might be better than the usual California prices, but it's still 3% higher than the national average. Then you have to factor in the crime rate. There are approximately 322,120 people living in Stockton, so one might expect more crime, but they're overachievers. They reported 4,023 violent crimes, which gives them a rate that is 229% higher than the national average. They also reported 9,391 property crimes, so there is a 1 in 24 chance of becoming a victim, and the city is safer than only 4% of American cities. One of the reasons they might have so much crime is the lack of opportunity in this area. 12% of the jobs are in retail, so a lot of people are earning minimum wage in this city. In California, the median household income is $78,672, but in Stockton it's $20,000 less, at $58,393. Low income means more poverty, so their rate is 16.8%, compared to the state rate of 11.5%. In addition, they have public schools that are struggling, so there's really no reason for someone with a family to live in Stockton. Number 1, Bakersfield. If you ask California residents for their state's worst city, Bakersfield consistently receives that dubious honor, yet they inexplicably keep gaining in population. They went from 347,483 residents in 2010 to an estimated 407,615 in 2021. There are quite a few reasons why Bakersfield is such a terrible place to live. They have a problem with pollution, for one thing. In 2020, they were ranked number 1 for annual particle pollution, number 2 for 24-hour particle pollution, and number 3 for high ozone days out of hundreds of other metropolitan areas in the US. This is due to the heavy presence of the petroleum industry in Bakersfield. The area in and around this city produces 66% of all oil in the state of California. Then there's the crime within the city. Their crime rates are 76% higher than the California average and 94% higher than the national average. In fact, the county where Bakersfield is located, Kern County, is often referred to as the murder capital of California. They reported 2,007 violent crimes, including 44 murders, and 15,619 property crimes. That puts the chance of becoming a victim of a crime at 1 in 23. Bakersfield residents have also been known to find human body parts in area lakes, so that's fun. And if you're ever in need of police assistance, you might be out of luck, because a DOJ investigation found that the police department had been violating the constitutional rights of Bakersfield residents by using unreasonable deadly force and conducting unnecessary arrests, searches, and other practices. If all of that isn't bad enough, Bakersfield also has a homelessness crisis, as well as a high poverty rate of 17.2%. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the Kernfield.